TVK came to power on a promise. Not just a promise to govern well, a promise about how they would govern. Vijay called it pure politics. No horse trading, no poaching, no dirty deals. He said, and I am quoting him directly, TVK would not align with the BJP, not publicly, not even behind closed doors, because they are an ideological enemy. He said Tamil Nadu deserved politics free from corruption and administrative malpractice. That was on May 10, 2026. 15 days later, on May 25, four AIADMK MLAs walked into the Tamil Nadu Assembly Secretariat, handed their resignation letters to the Speaker, walked straight out and joined TVK. Their names are Maragadam Kumaravel from Madurandakam, S. Jayakumar from Perundurai, P. Satyabama from Dharapuram, and S.A.K. Subaya from Ambasamuthram. The speed of what happened next told the whole story. Before the ink on those resignation letters had dried, all four were inside a TVK's minister office. This had been planned. The coordination was not accidental. Now, what is Operation Lotus? Operation Lotus is a name coined by opposition parties, taken directly from the BJP's own election symbol, the lotus, to publicly call out a tactic they accused the BJP of using across India in Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Manipur, Arunachal Pradesh, and Goa. The playbook is simple. Find MLAs from rival parties who are unhappy or scared of losing their positions. Offer them a safe future, get them to resign, and field them again in by-elections under the ruling party symbol. If they win, the majority grows. The BJP never called it Operation Lotus. Their opponents named it for them. Now, TVK's opponents are using that same name against them. These four MLAs were not random switchers. They were part of the rebel group inside AIADMK, the MLAs who had already voted for Vijay during the floor test, going against their own party's instructions. AIADMK's top leadership had filed legal petitions to disqualify all 25 of those rebels, meaning they could have lost their seats entirely. Joining TVK, resigning first, was a way to escape that threat and land somewhere safe. TVK Minister Aadhav Arjuna, considered second in command in this government, made no attempt to hide the strategy. He said publicly, and these are his exact words, TVK is a new AIADMK. Anyone from the AIADMK who wants to walk out is welcome to TVK. A bold statement, but also a gift to every critic in the room. Because telling AIADMK members to walk over using AIADMK's own name as the comparison hands the opposition exactly the headline they were looking for, an open invitation on record. Now, here is the another interesting part. Before the election, Vijay had already made clear any AIADMK member was welcome to join TVK as individuals. The door was never hidden. So, is this horse trading or is it just people walking through a door that was always open? The difference between this and what the BJP did in other states is that no secret deals are being reported here. No money changing hands, at least not on record. It is happening in plain sight. Except the Congress moving to TVK after the election, that was less transparent. Congress contested under the DMK alliance. After the results, they crossed the floor. That was not announced in advance. Both things are true at the same time. EPS called it vulgar politics. He accused TVK of practicing exactly what it condemned. MK Stalin also alleged horse trading, even though his own ally Congress had switched sides to join TVK after the election. AIADMK's strength in the assembly dropped from 47 to 43. Next important thing, the by-election question. When an MLA resigns from the assembly, their seat becomes vacant. A fresh election must be held, called a by-election. TVK has reportedly promised all four MLAs the party ticket to contest those same seats again, this time as TVK candidates. If TVK wins all four, their numbers grow. If TVK loses any of those seats go back to whoever wins. Could be AIADMK, could be DMK. So in this case, TVK is betting that same voters who elected these four MLAs will follow them under the TVK symbol. This is not guaranteed. Looking back, when BJP used this tactic in Karnataka, 12 out of 17 MLAs won their by-elections. That is a 70% success rate in the short term. But in the next general election, 8 of those same MLAs lost their seats. Voters gave them a second chance, then took it back. TVK already had their own candidates in those same seats who lost. Will those TVK loyalists now support the very people who beat them? 5 by-elections are now pending. Madurandagam, Perundurai, Dharmapuram, Ambasamutram and Trichy East, the seat Vijay vacated after winning 2 constituencies. TVK now has 111 MLAs and needs 118 for a majority on its own. Within days of these defections, 5 AIADMK rebel MLAs who had not yet left switched back to EPS. A ceasefire was announced inside AIADMK. The defections may have pushed both the AIADMK camps to patch up faster than they would have otherwise. TVK absorbed 4, AIADMK stopped the bleeding. The question is not whether this was politically smart. It clearly was for TVK. The question is whether it matches what Vijay told Tamil Nadu politics should look like. Pure politics, that was the promise. Is this a masterstroke that gives TVK a majority? Or is it a promise slowly bending under the weight of politics? What happens in those 5 by-elections will tell you a lot about whether Tamil Nadu voters see this the same way their Chief Minister Vijay does. We have to wait and watch. Does this count as horse trading when the door was always open, or is it something else? What do you think?